Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Muhammad Alshareef with our new episode of Ramadan Recharge.
Ramadan, a time for charity, a time for love and unity, for peace and mercy. We can do this easily. Ramadan, a time to see how beautiful Islam can be.
Alright, there's a verse that when Ramadan comes along, everybody starts reciting it. That's the verse, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Now in this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that fasting is prescribed for us as it was prescribed for those before us so that we may learn taqwa. Now everybody keeps mentioning this word taqwa, but when it gets translated in English, you know, the words that we hear don't kind of make sense. What does God consciousness mean? What does piety mean? What does, fear of Allah mean? Well, today, inshallah ta'ala, I'm going to close the books on this and I'm going to help you understand what taqwa means. The term that I prefer for taqwa is God consciousness, and let me explain why. When you go to like an ATM machine and you're taking money out, you're standing there, you think nobody's watching you, but then there's a moment where you look and there's a camera right in front of you and all those machines have it. There's a moment where you become conscious that now I'm being watched, but you were being watched the entire time. You just became conscious of it. Or if you live in a city that has lots of CCTV cameras, like London, for example, then you could be walking and all of a sudden these cameras start zooming in on you. You become conscious that you're being watched. Now take that to Islam. That's what taqwa is about, being God conscious or conscious that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you. Alright, so let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I once went to get a haircut, and when I went back home and later on I checked the receipt and the payment didn't go through on this debit card. So I went back later on when I was getting another haircut. I paid for the new haircut, but I told the guy, you need to charge me for the past haircut as well. And then he was really happy and excited that I was paying for the old one. He didn't realize it, he doesn't remember it. He said, why did you do this? And I said, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us. Even though you don't remember and I could get away with it, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that this is money that belongs to you and not me. Alright, so in summary, today we've been talking about taqwa, and our preferred translation for it is Allah consciousness. We know that in fasting in Ramadan, it's not just about abstaining from food, but also abstaining from everything that we wouldn't want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to see us doing. That means doing what He commands and staying away from what He forbids. This is Muhammad Alshareef with Ramadan Recharge. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Easily. A time to